Tag TV and Tag Radio be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. This one's about rapid change versus, say, perspective. You know, like, for example, a prize stallion a century ago probably was kept safe behind a stable door with little more than a wooden wedge that moved horizontally from open to locked and then locked to open. A few years ago, electronic card keys that unlocked hotel doors seemed like science fiction to most of us. Today, it's biometrics that will open doors for humans simply by recognizing intrinsic physical or behavioral traits. That's right, it's a form of identity access management or access control related to either the shape of the body, like fingerprint or even iris recognition, or the behavior of a person, like voice or typing rhythm. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 9, 2010, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mandela. On this edition, we mix a bit of economic gardening, the city of Savannah, and biometrics as Tino speaks with David Orischak, Chief Executive Officer of Digitus Biometrics, a unique, creative, and innovative entrepreneurial company that in less than 5 years has become the market leader in access control and security solutions via their highly advanced fingerprint recognition technology. And guess what? They're headquartered right in Savannah, Georgia. But there's more to Digitus than its industry leadership. It's the buzz all about its robust operating software and unique systems configuration. But we'll let Tino and David go into all of that and more. Digitus chooses Savannah for its headquarters and has recently gained the support of TAG's new economic gardening resource, now located in the historic as well as cutting-edge creative southern Georgia city. David brings 30 years of experience, corporate and entrepreneurial, in the tech industry to both Digitus and Savannah, a track record of super success in strategic planning and execution as a prior partner at Penn Valley Group, a Philadelphia business advisory firm. He raised tens of millions of dollars in growth and acquisition capital. He took sales of slow growth into high-powered companies, then later sold them and had them acquired by the likes of Ziff Davis, and even an 8-year successful career at IBM. He also served as the president of Environmental Plasma Arc Technology, where after restructuring operation was allowed to retain their trading rights on NASDAQ. Biometrics, like TAG's economic gardening, today's way to open up doors to maximum business growth and profits, as Tino Tech Talks with Digitus Biometrics Chief Executive Officer David Orischak.
Dave, welcome to Tech Talk.
Yeah, hey, good afternoon.
So you're out in Savannah, and you're one of the companies that we've been working with in that area in economic gardening. Many of our listeners may not know about Digitus Biometrics. So tell us a little bit about the company. What does the business do?
Yeah, sure. Well, Digitus Biometrics is a biometric access control company. The biometric that we use is fingerprints. So our technology is a premise security-based technology, meaning that we can secure everything from the front door to buildings, down hallways, down offices, and even so far as to go to the cabinet door or the desk drawer with our technology. And the platform is flexible enough that we can monitor all those access points. We can manage who goes in and out of those access points centrally. So we can register folks into a central database and then push the permissions out to the various access points, either around the building, around the town, or around the world. And we can manage, thousands of access points from a single desktop. The technology is flexible enough where we've been able to modify it from our traditional application was to secure the outside of buildings, in offices and closets and the like. And now, with the introduction of our latest project that we worked on with the U.S. Air Force, we've announced a an access control point for rack server cabinets inside of a data center. Digitus has been around for 5 years. We're, as you mentioned, Tino, we're a Savannah-based company, and just recently have started to gain a great deal of traction with our technology.
And what type of a market is there for that? Obviously, we all know of companies that are securing their buildings and areas more than they ever have, but I guess you're competing against the traditional security, and then I would imagine things like retina security as well. How do you stack up in terms of market opportunity there?
Yeah, just to size the overall opportunity for your listeners, in 2011, some third-party research firms have sized the biometric access control market at about $2.75 billion in annual revenue. There's a lot of folks using a lot of different biometrics in the segment. Everything, as you mentioned, from retina scanners to facial scanners to handprint recognition. We have zeroed in on fingerprint recognition and have been doing it for 5 years. We've in that 5-year time period, and I think this speaks well in terms of posturing us against some of those other competitive biometrics. In that 5-year time span, we've had 0 security breaches and 0 false positives. We're installed in some pretty heady places. We're installed at Fort Stewart and Fort Hood. We're at Hunter Army Airfield here in Savannah in Georgia. We're out at NORAD in Colorado, which we couldn't reference up until about 60 days ago.
Wow.
But the big thing with the fingerprint that you'll find is, and we don't actually store the fingerprint, by the way, we store a fingerprint template.
Okay.
The retina scanner gets a little tricky in terms, facial recognition gets a little tricky in terms of change. In for instance, contact lenses, glasses, somebody grows a mustache, somebody, so forth and so on. I think you probably get the point. The other thing that I think speaks well of our competitive posture is the platform is very flexible in terms of how it can be modified to resolve certain applications. And the latest, I guess, manifestation of that is our work with the U.S. Air Force, where we've taken the traditional door unit and molded it into an application that fits on the front of a rack server cabinet, and which we have a patent pending on now also. So it's getting rave reviews in the marketplace right now.
You have some great clients already, great customers already. I'm sure you want to expand that market and talk a little bit about what your game plan is. What can you tell us about the opportunity and how you're going to attack that opportunity?
Yeah, sure. And as a matter of fact, it's an area that the folks in the economic gardening effort have been a big help to us. The way we've got this thing modeled is we've got it modeled as an engineering and design firm. So the core emphasis here at Digitus is on just that, engineering and designing better products in the biometric access control space. What that means, though, is that we jettison all what we consider non-essential, aspects of the business. So we have contract manufacturers that make the product for us. We outsource human resources. We do not have a direct sales force, and so we've sought out certain private label partners. We have 2 international private label partners currently. I can't mention their name naturally because of the type of agreements that we're in, but we're also looking to build out an indirect sales channel and have done so. I guess we've got about 8 authorized resellers up and down the East Coast right now. But while all that's going on in the background, we've been working with the folks within economic gardening to help us with the data center security product that I just spoke about, which is we've named it the DB Server Rack Access Control. And we think that we can, sell that in large volumes. If you think about data centers, whether they're corporate data centers or co-location facilities or managed service facilities, with a need for access control at the cabinet level, we think we can accomplish that through some type of central sales program and do that through a lead generation program. And economic guarding has been very instrumental in helping us, sharpen our focus on who we want to go after in that space. And we're just now starting that sales lead generation program with them.
Our listeners probably could pick this up, but just a little more on economic gardening. So this is where TAG has received a grant from the Economic Development Administration to do work in the Savannah area with a specific focus on market intelligence, working with companies that have great potential and need support in terms of marketing, which sometimes either they don't have access to or access to the level that we can provide. So we've contracted with a group that's really throughout the United States called the Jumpstart Team, and they come in and they're on the phone with a company like Digitus, and they think through what areas the company needs to sharpen in respect to market intelligence, and then they provide that information on a timely basis. So we're happy to be working with you on that, Dave. One final question in respect to being in the Savannah area, because most of our listeners are in the metropolitan Atlanta area, is from a standpoint of being able to do your business in that area and working with companies here. I guess the question would be, how do you feel about working from the Savannah area in terms of getting the kind of resources and support that you need to help your business to grow?
Yeah, interesting question. Since, as you may detect from my dialect, I'm not a native Southerner. I'm only 7.5 years here from Philadelphia, where I spent 47 years. And the founder of the company and the founder of the technology, Chris Marsden, is actually a Brit, and he migrated here 3 years ago from England with his family to pursue the company and the ventures of the company. And we both love Savannah. We love the area. It's a very family friendly place. It's certainly not the business beehive that someplace like in Atlanta, Georgia, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, might be. But we're not a regional company per se. We've got a national and in fact international scope, if you will, of the business. So, we've been able to find, if you're asking have we been able to find the support and infrastructure here necessary to build the business, we have. Savannah's very good in that regard. Not only have the folks from TAG reached out to us, but also the Savannah Economic Development Authority has been a help and has thrown their support behind the company also.
Great. And so you sound like you're on a terrific path for growth. Any last thoughts about what does the future hold for Digitus?
Yeah, I think that we're awfully bullish about our prospects. I've been in technology 33 years, and the growth curve is almost always the same. I mean, there's an early adopter phase in any new technology that you go through, and then once you reach the mass acceptance phase and a technology becomes readily accepted, you go through this rapid acceleration in business volumes that is really driven by the technology being applied to more and more applications as they make themselves apparent. And we think we've got the company well positioned because we are an engineering and design firm and have our finger, we think, on the pulse of what our private label folks, our customers, are telling us. The market needs, that we think we're able to respond very quickly. Once we get into that mass acceptance phase, which, by the way, if you talk to almost anybody in the biometric industry today, they think we're right on the doorstep of that mass acceptance phase. We feel that in that phase, applications will be driven to us, and because of the way we're structured, we'll be able to modify our technology to meet the application needs.
Well, Dave, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today. I'm feeling like some of our listeners may be reaching out to you. What's your website? How can they find you?
Sure. It's www.digitusbiometrics.com. It's DIGITUS biometrics.com.
Well, great. Well, congratulations on the success of your company, and we're happy that TAG could play a small role in supporting you and best of luck moving forward.
We appreciate the help. Thanks.